morning. Well, I have someone to brighten you up today. So she probably doesn't need an introduction because my understanding is she kind of already has a fan club here today. But Christiana Mann, and Christiana,
Hi.
kind of a local legend, a fixture in the community with her various businesses. And but she also teaches in our food and hospitality programs, cooking and things like that. Also does food serve safe training for those of you who are in the hospitality industry. So looking forward to sitting down with Christiana and learning a little more myself. But should be fun.
Sure, great. Thank you. Okay.
All right. So I guess first off, can you just share your story and what inspired you to start your business?
Sure. So I'm going to take you down a road, and we need to go all the way back to 1984, way before a lot of you were born. So I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My parents have always owned and operated their own businesses. My father has never worked for another organization, entity. He has always been self-employed. And so it was modeled for me at a very young age. And he said he was sorry that he ruined it for me. But it's been a blessing. And so in 1984, my parents started another business, Three Bears Concessions. It was a mobile concession business that originally just started out on the month of May and went through August, and it was set up as a college fund for me. So it was something that we did only on the weekends and as a family. And that was a lot of fun, but I got the bug and I started my own business. And I can remember before I could even drive, my parents took me to the Indiana State Department of Revenue to make sure that I was setting my business up properly and crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's. And Christiana's Concessions was born. So that was probably my first solo venture in the concession business. And that was in 1985. And from there, I sold lemonade. I had a lemonade stand. And I was mobile. I followed the Gus Macker basketball tournaments. Anybody know about Gus Macker? It was a big deal in the 80s and 90s. Lots of teams, it was regional, lots of tournaments, and I think I could probably hold my own with McDonald's. They say over 1 billion hamburgers served. Yep, I think I've shook that many lemonades. So from there, the business expanded, and we bought more trailers and carts and mobile units, and then picked up a state park contract. And then we were blessed to be a contractor with Ball State University for athletics and facilities for 18 years. So that's just a little bit of my background and how I got started and why I decided to continue on with my other businesses.
So what are some of the events and things you go to now?
So with the mobile food business, with the carts and the trailers and the trucks, we go out and do fairs and festivals regionally. We used to do statewide, but my father, who is a co-owner in the Three Bears Concessions business, as well as my mother, we are semi-retired from that. So we stay regional now. Fairs and festivals, private events, corporate events, catering off-site. That's with the mobile unit. So I've got a couple of other ventures that I'll talk about.
Okay. What was your morning like today?
So I was up early because I was excited to come and talk to you today, number one, but I also teach 2 classes on Tuesdays. And part of my $2.99 Business of Food and Security class, we have committed to going off-site and helping with the Avondale Friendsgiving dinner. And this is the 4th annual. My students will be serving approximately 200 people in the Avondale community. So there was food prep today, there was getting the kitchen labs open today at Ball State over in the Applied Technology building. And after I'm done here, I'm gonna go make 7 turkeys and get those loaded up. Friend's gonna help, and we'll deliver.
That's pretty awesome. So, you said 1984, so you were like 3 when you started the business,
Right, yes.
So,
Yes, sounds great.
They don't even get that. All right. What would you say was the most significant challenge you faced, and how did you overcome it?
So, financial institutions don't like to lend money to carnies. So, it is a very finicky business, and if you want to be successful, you need to work hard, and there is a lot of self-funding. So that's something that I've built on with all of my businesses, knowing how important it is to have a plan, a good solid plan, and then being able to get that plan off the ground by doing a lot of self-funding or finding other kinds of investors. So that's probably the biggest challenge, because in food service, you've got a lot of equipment, trailers, trucks, all of the permitting. A lot of money goes out in order to make money to come in.
Okay, so kind of asset heavy in the
Yes.
front end, yeah. All right, so you completed the ELI assessment, which our class did, and we went over that. It's been a while now, but maybe 6 weeks ago or so. Your results came out as evangelist, about 29%, artist 27%. I guess the first question is, how well do you identify with those results? And then I'll let you answer that one first.
Sure. I wasn't surprised with the outcome. I don't like labels, but I think it fits. It is. I am definitely a champion for a cause, and anything that I'm putting my energy into, I have to be passionate about. And I hope that's infectious, and I can share that with the people that I surround myself with, my partners, employees, friends, family. And so that is very important. I am also a dreamer. I've got 1,000, if not 1,000,000 ideas of what I want to do from here and how I want my businesses to transform. So putting those dreams into action and being able to be creative with the plan as well as the product is very important to me.
Yeah, I would say on the artist side, I mean, I've seen Christiana's work, and there is an art to it too. For those of you that are in food, you know that, but some people are better than others or do it really well. And I would say her food is definitely an artistry, so it's pretty cool, pretty neat to see. So how do you think those kind of styles relate to how you lead people, how you lead the kitchen, how you lead when you go out to these events, the classroom, everything?
Sure. So I'm not a Gordon Ramsay. I'm seeing a couple of my students. I'm not a yeller, but rather I like to model what's happening in the kitchen. And as a leader, I think it's very important to remember that if I'm asking others to do something, it's also what I'm going to be doing as well. So we're in it together as a team, as a brigade, whether I'm in a trailer or I'm in a lab or I'm in a classroom. It's important that we have that cohesiveness and we're able to come together and work together. So I will never ask my students or employees to do something that I won't do. That is just, I want to be respectful. Yes.
And you've had some interesting things to deal with.
I have.
We won't talk about those here.
Okay.
But let's just say some plumbing issues over, this building over here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fun times.
Yes.
So what about times where you have certain skill sets, certain things you like to do? How have you complemented yourself with people who maybe have skills and talents and things that aren't your thing?
Mm-hmm.
So what are some ways you've complemented yourself?
That's a great question. We're all teachers, we're all students. We all have challenges and strengths, and it's important to find a group of people that complement each other. I know what I can do well, and I know what I don't do so great at. And it's important to seek out those that maybe have those qualities so that we can give 100% and give that total package. So yes, I'm always searching for people who complement what I do and enhance what the businesses that I'm involved with can do.
What about mentorship and just a support network in general? How has that impacted your journey? Have you had specific mentors that have been really impactful?
I have. I've been a very lucky woman in the fact that I've been able to attend professional conferences and travel and meet exceptional people in the industry. But one thing, everything you do, everybody you meet will come back at some point. I just want you to remember that. All of your actions, the words that you say, where you're at, it comes full circle. And I've had the privilege of working with a lot of wonderful people. They may not be in my life right now, but they were very, very instrumental in getting me to where I am and who I am. My father is my biggest advocate, the best teacher, and I've learned so much from him. He's my safe person. I can go back and talk to him about my ideas. The businesses he started have not always been successful, and that's okay. He's a brave man. I'm a brave woman, and you're going to be brave as well when you start your businesses. I wish that for you. Don't be afraid to do something. Okay? But my father has been the best education, and he's right there with me, supporting me, and he's my sounding board.
I think that's great advice because I think in our culture today there's an aversion to failure.
Yes.
And the truth is, whether you try to avoid it or not, you're going to fail. So you might as well fail like really trying to do something that could be impactful.
Yes.
I mean, we've both failed for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Many times. So you just move on. You learn from it and you move on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 2.0, 3.0.
Yeah.
Yep.
One thing, talking about mentorship and like support network, I've watched Christiana, I know you all know Candy Dot, my teammate, and I've just watched Christiana be such a support to us on what we're doing, and especially Candy. And you know, when you have people in your life like that you can count on, especially if something's not going quite right or whatever, which happens, it's nice to have someone you can count on, and they're not asking a lot of questions, they're just jumping in and helping. I've seen Christiana do that so many times, and it's just nice to have people like that in your life.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you've had people like that in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, how would you say that your business and leadership style reflect your values?
Okay, number one, I don't do anything that I don't love, because the time investment and what I have to contribute physically, emotionally, mentally, and what it takes away from my personal life, I need to be passionate about, I need to love and care about. So one of my passion projects is food insecurity. And so if you've met me or interacted with me or you've been a student with me, friends and colleagues, you know that it is very important to me that people have good food and access to food. And food insecurity is a pillar in everything that I do. So I want to minimize the waste, whether that be in the classroom, in the labs, and being able to safely prepare it and store it and transport it to get it to the folks who need it, or if it's in my own private business and businesses where I may have leftovers that are stored, packaged, and transported securely and properly to other entities like the Soup Kitchen of Muncie or to the Common Market Avondale area. So yes, again, I'm investing a lot of me, mentally, physically, emotionally, into what I do. And I've been very lucky because I've been able to incorporate my family and my friends in my passion projects as well.
The timing's great for you sharing that, because last week we did an exercise on purpose, passion, skill, mission.
Good.
For 2 class periods, we walked through this, and so it's great timing for you. We didn't plan that, but it's great timing just to hear that people live this way, and that it's critical. If it's fuel. It's just critical to chase things you care about, you're passionate about, because it's fuel, right? I mean, it keeps you going.
It is. And I've met some phenomenal people.
And it's you're going to be at your best too.
Yes.
So
I'm invested.
Yeah.
I'm invested.
Yeah. So what impact would you hope that your business and just your presence would have on the community? And that could be the Ball State community, that could be the local community, the communities you go into.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's start with the Ball State community. I hope I'm making an impact on my students and giving them experiences in the classroom that carry over into everything that they do. Very first thing I start off with, day one, it's really not about the food. Yes, I'm here to teach you skills and to talk about food, and we're going to work with food, but it's time management, organization, positive attitude. And carrying those with you and being able to think critically and applying those skills, it will touch everything. It will have an impact, and it will set you up for success. Time management, communication, positive attitude. I mean, there isn't much that you can't accomplish with that. In the community, I hope that my service work helps others. It does fill me up and fulfills me personally, but I hope I'm actually making an impact by helping someone. That is important. And artistically and as a businesswoman in town, I want to have a successful business. I want to be able to pass that on to my children if they wish to continue that legacy. They are working with me. The business is now a 3-generation business, both with the mobile unit and with my brick and mortar that I haven't talked about. So that's what I hope to leave.
Which is a great legacy, because moving to a 3rd generation the percentage is really low. I think it's like 16%.
Wow.
Of family businesses move to succeed to a 3rd generation. So good for you.
Thank you.
One of the things that Christiana and I very much have in common, neither one of us are Gordon Ramsay, but we are tough.
Yes.
And we talk about this often, and this isn't really part of the questioning, but I just thought of it. I know from my perspective, I just want students to learn certain things that will help them later. What's acceptable in a public setting, what's not. What a boss or a manager, leader, supervisor would deem acceptable. And I know you're very similar in how you lead your classrooms. Any thoughts on that? Or?
Well, my takeaway is we all need to practice our soft skills. So here's my hospitality hat. The please, the thank you. And we just went over professional etiquette in one of my other classes. We're at that point where we're doing tablescapes and final project planning. But being a good human and being present and listening and making eye contact with folks goes a long way. I just want you to think about some of the experiences that you've had recently, maybe in a retail setting, where people aren't looking up from whatever they're doing. They're not greeting you. They're not saying please and thank you. And that doesn't feel good, does it? No. So if you can remember to practice those things, just by being a good human. Yes, and I mentioned it before, being willing to jump in and be a team player and lead by example, a positive example.
Let's talk work-life integration.
Okay.
This is always a fun one with entrepreneurs because we're not really too good at it, but just curious what your view of what does it look like to you? How do you process it? How do you see it? And are there things that you're able to do to kind of have some breathing room, I guess? Sure.
So my motto is food is fun and work hard, play hard. And I do. I'm very fortunate. I put a lot of long hours into my craft, but I reward myself and my family by being able to do some fun things together. It is extremely hard as an entrepreneur, being self-employed and responsible for certain elements, to have normal business hours and boundaries, but you have to. You have to have some boundaries or you're going to get burnt out. Doesn't matter how much you love what you do, too much of anything is a lot. So create boundaries. I've shared in my class that instead of responding at 2 a.m. to an email that may come through, I might be up, I might see it, but I'm probably not going to respond. I'm trying to create those instructor-student boundaries and working normal business time. I get a lot of phone calls and texts and emails for my personal business, and again, creating boundaries by just trying to maintain those professional work hours and being sensitive to the fact that people probably aren't up at 4 o'clock in the morning like I am prepping. And nobody wants to hear a ding on their phones. They're trying to get their last wink. But I'm also blessed with the family business and the fact that I've been able to work with my family. And in hospitality specific, it's a lot of nights, weekends, and holidays. There's a trade-off. And you can do a lot of these things for a long time until you have dependents, or maybe you want to get married, or maybe you want to settle down. So again, I've been very lucky that I've been able to work with my family. I've brought them into the fold. They're both professional. I have adult children. My daughter works here at Ball State, has a professional position. My son is a student, he works. But they still both enjoy working with the family business and working with me with catering. That is not the case for a lot of self-employed people, and it takes a toll on your family. And I can remember answering emails and being on my phone when my son was younger and him trying to get my attention and saying something to the effect like, "You're always on your phone." That stopped me in my tracks. That was a real eye-opener. And so I made some changes immediately, because I didn't want to model that for my child. And I didn't want him to think that that phone or that business contact was more important. So you need to prioritize, what's important to you, place and purpose. That will change. That will change as you grow through life with whoever you're with.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yep.
Looking ahead, where do you see yourself in your business in, say, 5-10 years?
Mm-hmm. So I said, I've got that itch. So I'm always looking forward and thinking about the next project and how I want to expand. My latest venture is the Culinary Cottage. It is a brick-and-mortar private event venue for business and social events. I did a market analysis. I was practicing what I was preaching in class, and came up with a business plan based on a deficit that I could see in our community, and found a location. I was very deliberate with the location. It's in downtown Muncie in the historic Emily Kimbrough area. If any of you have ventured off campus and are familiar with downtown Muncie, it was an old rectory of a church, Grace Episcopal Church, and it actually looks like a cottage. It's cute. But I chose that location because I wanted to help with the development of downtown. I wanted to enhance the neighborhood. There was a revitalization that's still happening, house by house, building by building. And I wanted to give back to the church that was providing that long-term lease. It was a vacant structure. They were in financial need, and the building needed some TLC. So very slowly, we negotiated the contract, and I was able to go in, do remodeling, and now I'm happy to say it has exceeded my expectations and goals that I set with even a setback.
I was getting
Yes.
ready to ask about the setback. If
Yes.
you would share a little bit about that.
I will, and this is the positive attitude that comes in. I opened May of 2024. I had worked diligently from January of 24 all the way through spring, doing a lot of the work, learning how to do the work inside the building, like the flooring and wall repair. So fast forward, I hosted a wedding reception and ceremony on New Year's Eve, went in 2 days later, and heard some water. Walked into one of the rooms, and there was a waterfall coming from the second floor. So all of the work that had been put into it had to be redone. It was a 4-month process working with insurance and getting the proper permits, so on and so forth. But I was able to reopen in June of this year, and have been very blessed with patrons and guests who were very gracious in rebooking what they could. They had been there as a guest, had a lovely experience, and said that I was worth the wait. So, a blessing.
And these things happen.
They do.
It's just, you can count on it almost, right?
Absolutely.
So you just,
You know what? I have a brand new kitchen. And I was able to do some things that I wasn't able to initially at the onset. And it's okay. It's okay.
so if you could share one key message or piece of advice for this next generation of leaders, what would it be?
Be brave and do it. Okay? If it doesn't work out, that's okay. It's okay. We learn and move on, and maybe you do something totally different. Maybe it is a 2.0, after the ceiling collapses and you have permitting issues. But just be brave and do it. If you don't, I promise you, you will always wonder, what if? And we don't want to live with what ifs. We don't. So be brave.
And that's true whether you start your own business or whether you work somewhere else for somebody else.
Yes.
We've talked about this a lot in class. When the owner of the business or the leader or the manager says, hey, I need someone to research this new market or take on this initiative, we want you to be the people that are like, yeah, I'll do that. And I think both of us could say here at Ball State, we've done that a lot, maybe too much
Yes.
even. But if you don't, you have regrets for sure. You wonder what could have happened. So it's true whether you start a business or whether you work for somebody else.
Yes.
So anything else you'd like to share?
No, I am always open to mentoring. If you have questions about industry or life-work balance, you can find me in applied technology. You can give me a call. All of my contact information is available on campus and through my business website, and I would be happy to talk to you. People took the time to do that for me, and I want to give back and provide that for you if you want that. So please come see me if you have questions. If I don't know, we can figure it out together. I learn something every day.
All right, so we're going to do this selfie thing. I feel like we should be pretty good at this by now, but it's just an age thing.
Okay.
I was waiting for that.
Kayla's our class selfie person.
It's tradition.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Perfect.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so questions? Who has questions?
I was just wondering, what is your one advice for someone who wants to be able to start a business by this or next year, and has some ideas, but the ideas wouldn't really go through because they are more specialized than people who are in the field of what the, I guess, invention or business would be? Do you have any suggestions for that?
I do, and this applies to all businesses. Immerse yourself in the subject, whether it be something, a specialty or very general. And I'm going to use my business as an example with concessions. Okay, if you wanted to start a food truck, you just don't go out and buy a food truck. Okay, you have to do your research and due diligence. And so you're going to seek out your competitors. You're going to try to gather as much information as you possibly can about that area before you spend one penny, okay? Your time and investment in researching that area of interest or that particular business and trying to gain the knowledge, that's worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Also, if you have an opportunity to work for someone or an organization that does what you want to do, or just a portion of it, maybe you're going to take a spin and take it to a different level, try to get that work experience and learn the ins and outs of the industry. So that's where I would start, number one. And then you need to identify the relationships that you need to build, whether it be with government entities, through permitting and occupancy and those kinds of things. Meet with folks and ask questions. Okay? Build a rapport with those folks. Go out and talk to Chris at the Indiana State Department of Revenue. Wonderful. But put yourself out there and just try to gather as much information as you possibly can before you spend one penny. Okay?
Good advice. Questions?
Okay.
Has there ever been a time where you disappointed a coworker or an employee and you had to overcome your own ego and fix it or keep the relationship strong? How did you do that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. None of us are perfect, and we have good days and bad days. We make assumptions. Okay? And so, yes, I have failed coworkers, colleagues, family members. And the very first thing, you have to swallow your pride. You have to apologize. You have to put yourself out there and try to identify what the issue was and work together. So I appreciate the candor, and communication has to be open, or you're just going to continue to have that snowball effect, and it just brings toxicity and negativity, and that is not a way to live at work or at home.
Hello, Christiana.
Hey, hi.
Thank you for speaking.
Thank you.
You mentioned failure, you mentioned burnout. So what are the strategies or the practices that you do to prevent burnout or to enable you to bounce back from failure? What things do you do that you would be willing to share with us?
Sure. Well, as Rob can attest, I am an early riser, and I turn into a pumpkin at 9 o'clock or when it gets dark. So That time in the morning is very important to me. It's the only quiet time that I have. It's a time that I can read or do something that is non-work related, and it gives me a good start. So having that daily practice of taking time for yourself and being introspective is very important. Throughout the day, I try to have something social booked into my calendar, something to look forward to that gives me a break. I can engage with friends or family. Maybe 15 minutes. It might be a text, it might be a call, but I've got something that isn't work related. And then I mentioned I work hard so that I can play hard. I always have something in my pocket, something that I'm looking forward to, a plan, a place that is a reward. It is. Don't forget to unplug, okay? I know it's tough in this world, but turn the phone off, turn the TV off, unplug. That is so important.
That's really good advice. Just give yourself some peace away from that devices. Questions?
I was gonna ask about your class. Like, is it open to everybody, or like an elective, or how are we able to like get involved if we want to?
Sure, yes. So we have several courses in the Hospitality, Innovation, and Leadership program that are food specific, open to non-majors or that don't have prerequisites. The 101 is cooking for non-majors. We've got 4 sections scheduled for next semester, and they're already full, I'm sorry. But we're adding a couple of more sections, so if you're looking to pick up a 3 credit, you're welcome to look up the 101. We also have a 222, which is more of a commercial cooking class. It doesn't have a prerequisite. So if you have a background or if you have an interest in scaling large and commercial equipment, you could check that one out. And then, of course, our 147, which is safety and sanitation. And this is an excellent opportunity for you to gain some certifications. You get a Serve Safe Manager, Serve Safe Allergen, Serve Safe Alcohol certificates that you can keep with you. And I'm telling you, that could be the icing on the cake. That could be the deal breaker when you're looking for an internship, employment. They're very expensive. And if your employer doesn't have to pay for those certifications and you already have those, then that's going to give you an edge. Anything you pick up in college, at the university, certifications, keeping current, do it. Yep.
Always good to have a practitioner in the classroom. So
Yep.
someone who's living it out in the real world. So, questions? Other questions?
Getting your steps.
I was wondering what your best advice is for financial stress of starting a business on your own.
My best advice. Definitely put together a budget and a savings plan. I have always self-funded. I've worked other jobs, had other opportunities where I was working towards something and I was saving for that. So I'm happy to say I'm debt-free. I started a business and have no debt. And it's a great feeling. Just have the patience and dedication and motivation to be able to set that aside. And eventually that's going to give you the momentum to either be able to show a potential investor or financial institution that you're serious and that you have savings to put towards it and leverage. That's going to help. But I come from a very unique perspective and situation. That was important to me, having seen what happened with family businesses before. Those that weren't successful and that went under and then starting again. And making sure that you pay those debts back. People remember and being honest. So, best advice.
Any other questions? You were interested in starting some kind of food service business or hospitality related.
Super. It's a tough business. It is. By the time you pay all of your fees and permits and food costs and employee and insurance and so on and so forth, when you're looking at, it's a tough business. It really is. But people have to eat, yes. And we didn't talk about competition. I want to touch on that because we have choices. We have choices. So whatever you do and decide to do it to the very best of your ability. And people ask me about competition. You know, I think it's a compliment for my competition to want to do what I'm doing. So I don't take offense to it. I see it as a compliment when somebody copies something. Yeah. But make it your own. Make it your own. With the Culinary Cottage, it was very important to me to provide those personal services. I didn't want people to book something online for X amount of time and pick off of a menu of 2 or 3 things. So my guests come in, we have meet and greets, I get to know them, talking about dietary issues and sensitivities, likes and dislikes. And it's paid off. I mean, people are coming back to be my guest again and again. And they have a unique culinary experience. All of their menus are designed around the group or the people that they're working with, whether it's business or social. I work with local purveyors and farmers and try to acquire things that support small businesses and mom and pop businesses. If I can't source it, then I'm going to go to my other vendors, and there's nothing wrong with that. But again, going back to mission and vision and what's important to me, it's important to support those small businesses in the community. Yep. And there is enough for everybody. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't have to be food service. It could be hair. It could be plastic toys. It doesn't matter. There is enough for everyone. But just remember, whatever you do, do to the best of your ability and be honest. Yep.
We had Tira Hicks
Yes.
in last few weeks ago, and she was talking about coffee shops and how kind of everybody followed suit after her, and how in the beginning it was kind of, she had to wrestle with that, you know, like, at the end of the day, we don't own it. We don't own the market. You have to be making yourself desirable, right? in the market.
Right.
So.
And you have to be flexible. I mean, we're following food trends and what people want, economy. Be flexible.
Another question.
Yes.
You talked about being brave.
Yes.
And that could mean just being, vulnerable, asking questions here. Or it could be speaking out, or it could be starting a business. How do you be brave? What strategies do you take to, fortify yourself to be brave?
So I would love to say that, coming in here and speaking to large groups of people, it doesn't bother me at all. Even in my classes, I still have that little nervousness, and that's good. That keeps you on your toes. But I try to challenge myself and push the limits and experience the unknown. Just taking that first step, trying something different. You don't know if you don't like it, if you don't try it. My no thank you bite reference, my students in here, right? I ask them to take a bite of whatever product they have made that day, whether they think they might not like it or they will like it. We don't know until we try it. So pushing myself and trying to explore new options, that's something that, I force myself to do. I do.
I remember one of my mentors who was here at Ball State a long time ago, maybe close to 100 years ago. Before I had ever led a class session, actually, I said, how do you do it? Like, how do you get in front of groups and speak? And sometimes it's very large, like companies in auditoriums. And he said, I get nervous every time. And he said, that's what tells me that it's important to me and that it's meaningful. Like anything you do that's meaningful is there's going to be some pressure and some stress around it. You just have to lean into it. And then after I asked him that question, he said, oh, I'm out of town next week, so you're going to lead my class. And that's where it began.
Yeah.
So, but I'm with you. I get a little nervous, especially the first day of class, but even sometimes throughout the semester, like I get a little nervous
Sure.
here and there. So,
Absolutely. We're human. We're human.
yeah. But we care.
And you seek out your helpers too. I mean, I see lots of smiling faces and people who are engaged and you're listening. I appreciate that. And, I want to give back to you as well. So, yeah, you find those people.
For sure. Any other questions? Going once. Okay, well, join me in thanking Christiana for joining us. Appreciate it. She's a very busy lady.
Thank you for having
Very
me.
busy lady. Okay, so Thursday we have James Kane. Do you know James?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So, Mr. Energy.
Yes.
And the crazy thing is, when we had him in the spring, he had a heart attack like a month before that. And you wouldn't have known it at all. So you'll love James. And then next Tuesday, class will be online in case you're traveling or something, give you some flexibility for class. So Tuesday will be an online